Hi, you're here with John Rouse
and Eugene Gruber
from the ground floor stage inside Summerfest, and you're listening to 103.5 FM WLSP LP Sun Prairie, Wisconsin.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Schmozcast, Men in Tights. I am Anthony in the studio at 103.5 The Sun, WLSP LP Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, along with Aiden, Andre, and Chandler. How we doing, fellas?
Doing great tonight.
I am too sweet.
Feeling absolutely glorious. Holy cow, let's give you guys another shot.
Give him some juice there, brother.
Juice them up. Juice them. We juiced?
How about now?
Oh, we're getting there. What do you got for us?
Testing this out first.
Good? Ready? Working?
Test. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
A little bit.
All right, we're on the air. Here we
All
go.
right, wonderful.
We're going to give it a go here.
Professionals here, ladies and
That's,
gentlemen.
that's right. We got a big show. We're previewing Super Showdown in Australia, as well as reviewing New Japan Pro Wrestling's Fighting Spirit Unleashed. And you guys want to skip ahead a couple matches and start talking about this Zack Sabre Jr. pin from Sunday night. Is that correct?
Yeah, the pinfall that he got in the match was against Evil, and he bridged back absolutely textbook, picture perfectly, and at the same time just flipping off the crowd, which was hilarious. So he's bridged back, on the top of his head. He's not bridging with his hands, and it's one of the most perfect bridges I've ever seen. Plus him flipping the birds was just hilarious. So that was just a really, really funny, entertaining spot in that match. The whole card was super awesome, but yeah.
All right, good stuff. So you guys want to talk about a couple of the matches from there? Overall, though, I imagine New Japan just doing what New Japan does and putting on an amazing pay-per-view, right?
Absolutely.
Yep, still probably the best in-ring product in the world right now, with NXT a very, very close second, or 1A, 1B, whatever, what have you. But yeah, New Japan doing what New Japan does. This one was in where was it? It was in California, but I don't know where.
This New Japan show?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
I can't remember where, and they said it during the show, but I forget. But yeah, they were in California.
Was it Long Beach? I know that's where they were last year, at least for a little bit.
I don't know. I should have looked it up.
We'll take care of that. Okay, so you just put NXT over Ring of Honor. Is that you're willing to stand by
I don't
that?
watch enough Ring of Honor
Okay.
to make a judgment like that. So I'm going based on what, as I do when I judge most things, based on what I have seen.
And it looks like it was in Long Beach, California.
You are correct.
There you go.
A cookie for you.
Oh, thank you, sir. Any other matches that you guys want to get into, or moments from some of the card?
Marty Scurll and Will Ospreay. I know you hate Marty Scurll, but Scurll and Ospreay have some of the best chemistry of any two wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. This is probably the millionth time that they've went toe-to-toe together, and it was an incredible match once again.
Like Lash LaRue and Prince Iaukea.
Yeah. I don't understand your hate, Frony. I really don't. Like, what about his wrestling or his anything that you don't like? And Will Ospreay, for that matter, too, because Ospreay is legit.
I'm okay with Ospreay. I think that he has a very bright future and a high ceiling. I don't think he's quite there yet, but I think he's going to do some crazy, amazing things. He has already, but as he gets better and older and more mature, I think that Will Ospreay is going to be out of this world at some point.
You just hate the villain.
I hate the villain.
If he wasn't, so he's probably my favorite or one of my favorite wrestlers today. If he wasn't, would your hate be as magnified as it is?
I mean, it was already a very hot flame. Maybe the burn is a little bit deeper now because you love him, but my hatred was there prior to your emergence as a fan of his.
So even though this match was incredible, if you've seen it, you would automatically not like it no matter how good it was just because of one of the participants? Because I could never do that.
I might hate him, but I'm not crazy enough to say that if he puts on a great match that I'll automatically hate it. So it's not like I watch him and I'm like, I want to be like he just doesn't get my approval, and it's not like I'm not trying to give it to him, but I don't think he deserves it.
So like how I used to feel about Roddy Strong before he joined the Undisputed Era.
Maybe I probably have a worse hatred for him than you did.
So even more than my dislike of Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I mean, your hatred of Roman Reigns maybe is more on par, or former hatred of him is more on par with my Marty Scurll.
Jeez.
Wow. And then right next to my Marty Scurll is also my Roman Reigns.
Wow, that just shocks me because this match was incredible. It was a semifinal match. He's going to face, is it Kushida, right? For the light or the junior heavyweight championship at King of Pro Wrestling, which is going to be another great match. Phenomenal match. I don't know what else to say about it. We saw all the typical spots with Marty Scurll and Will Ospreay. We saw a great reversal into Chicken Wing, which I'll have to share on Twitter or something. But that was probably my favorite match, followed by a very close second with being Juice and Cody. But I don't know about you, Chandler. What do you think? What's your match of the night or matches of the night?
Yeah, pretty much the last four matches on the card, the kind of all in my eyes were main event status and were all like definitely my favorite. The bottom half of the card for sure. The Guerrillas of Destiny defeated the Young Bucks to win the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, and now they are record 4-time champions. And I didn't really expect the Young Bucks to lose this match. I thought that with just the way that things have kind of gone with the beef between the Young Bucks, the Bullet Club Elite, and the Firing Squad, I thought that God would have chased a little bit longer. And especially because this was the first heavyweight tag title reign for the Young Bucks, I thought that they would have held the titles longer. But yeah, it was a great match. The problems with Matt Jackson's back came into play again, and that's awesome. basically what cost them the match. It was great storytelling, obviously a great match, a couple of the best tag teams in the world. I don't think that the Guerrillas of Destiny fully get the credit that they deserve as a tag team, and I've felt that way for a very long time before all of this stuff on being the Elite and the division between the Young Bucks, or between the Elite and what's now the Tongans or the Firing Squad. Even when they were a tag team and Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson or Doc Gallows in the Indies, when they were in the Bullet Club, them with AJ kind of got way more shine than the Guerrillas of Destiny. And I mean, Bad Luck Fale, he's kind of an undercard kind of talent. That's why his moniker is the Underboss. But I don't know. I feel like him, Bad Luck, and the Guerrillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, they don't really get the credit that they're due. So it was pretty cool to see them win, but like I said, I was kind of shocked by it.
Were the championships on the line?
Yeah, yep. The Guerrillas of Destiny are the heavyweight champs.
They are the champions.
Heavyweight tag team champs. Yep.
Good stuff.
Cody Rhodes is a double, actually triple champion because
Yep.
he's the United States champion.
Yep. So then, the next match, absolutely, probably my favorite match of the night as well. I think I agree with Andre on that. Cody defeated Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship in just an absolutely fantastic, just pro wrestling match. Just I don't know. It felt like one of those type of just archetypical pro wrestling matches. Cody, as Andre mentioned as well, is now a 3-time champion, being the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, now IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, and he is 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. So he's got a lot of gold. He's looking like the Young Bucks do when they win a title, because they have at least 3 championships at all times. So,
And two of my favorite things about this match was the beginning, because he came out with the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, which is what I want him to do everywhere he goes. And then the ending where he's walking up the ramp and he stops and he holds both titles. Brandy was with him as well. He kisses each title and then he kisses his wife, and it's just like, I was just a great visual. And then he held up the 2 titles, and it's just really cool to see. And hopefully, at least for me, he becomes a triple champion, singles champion, because the main event, which was a great match too, the Golden Lovers against Okada and Ishii, if I'm saying it right. And after that match, Kenny Omega announced that him and Kota were going to have a match for the heavyweight championship at King of Pro Wrestling. Then Cody Rhodes came down and came into the ring and basically got involved and made a triple threat between the 3 of them. And Kenny was like, cool, let's do it. So there's a 3-way for the heavyweight championship. So if Cody wins, which I don't think they do, but if he would have 3 singles championships.
What's the next pay-per-view that you're talking about?
King of Pro Wrestling.
King of Pro Wrestling. Okay. So those 3 will be going for which title?
The heavyweight championship, Kenny's title.
Okay, that makes sense. Then
So
back
just
to
huge.
back to Cody being the NWA champion right now. Since there is no real definitive like federation or faction or whatever that is, the NWA, or they don't have their own TV show or shows. It's just kind of, I don't know, this weird
They have
brand kind of
YouTube,
thing right now.
I guess.
But I think that's kind of the point, is for Cody to be the NWA champion and bring it to all these other places, especially Ring of Honor, and get it out in the crowds more, and then see eventually what happens with the NWA and what's going on with Billy Corgan. But I like it. It's kind of a cool thing. You don't really see this, like I said, they're just kind of a brand, and they do have the YouTube show, but it's not these guys are specifically NWA wrestlers, or you go to watch the NWA show in this territory or this night. It's like, I don't know, it's its own thing right now. So let's talk a little bit about the main event.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing coming out of the main event. It was a typical Golden Lovers match with a lot of, what do they call the attempted what is it?
Homosexual innuendos.
No.
there is a lot of that between those two.
When they have a I don't watch enough Golden Lovers. They have a V trigger where they both do it, and I forget the name of it, and I can't remember. Anyways, it was a great match, very fast paced. Golden Lovers won, of course. I mean, that's
Their tandem offense is really fun to watch, and I mean, I know that they've done it for years, but I didn't really see or even know the Golden Lovers
Same here.
were a thing the first time around. I've gone back and watched a lot of their footage, or just not like their entire matches, but just highlight reels of a lot of their tag team or like tandem offense, double team moves that they would do, and they did a lot of that in this match, and it's just they're a really good tag team. It was great tag team wrestling, and it was a great high profile kind of match to close the show out.
I thought it was a great match. I don't want to sound like I didn't like it. I just felt the 3 matches before it really overshadowed it for me, and I was at that point, I was kind of amped up and down again. You know what I mean? That's hard to explain. When you get into a show and then you get so amped, and then you see the victories of Cody Rhodes and Marty Scurll and God, then it's kind of like, oh, okay. And then I almost forgot that was coming up. after the, I think it was the tag match was right before that, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that, and then they had that match and it was great, but I don't know. It was up there with the best matches of the night, but for me, it was overshadowed by the three matches before it.
Let's go to Aiden on this one. Aiden, not having seen it, same as myself, what would be the one match that you would want to see from this? If you had to choose one, what would be your go-to right away, just by looking at the card?
But just by looking at the card, I would look forward to the Marty Scurll and Will Ospreay
Attaboy.
match. Because Marty
Just kidding.
Scurll's, I know you're not a fan of him, but I am.
Thank you.
I'm more recent fans because I've gotten more into the indie things more recently than you guys have. I'm sure you've been following it a little longer than I have because I only got into it a couple months ago when I actually heard about it. So, and the first Marty Scurll match I saw was the one at All In versus Okada, which I thought was an excellent match.
Mhm.
And so, and I've also been loving all of Will Ospreay's match, especially against Walter for the Internet Championship. Was an awesome match to watch as well. So it's just, I think that those two would put on a great match, and you said that they got great chemistry together. So that's just by looking at the card alone, that would be the one I'd look forward to. But after hearing you guys describe the last four matches, the one that I would look most forward to watching from your guys' description would be the Cody match for the IWGP United States Championship, since Cody's a great wrestler and also Juice Robinson's a great wrestler, so I also look forward to that. But then again, all four of those last matches that sound like amazing main event caliber matches all on their own.
And the ratings and stuff for them from the sites that did report so far. Meltzer hasn't given his ratings. All four of those matches, the Scurll Ospreay, God Young Bucks, the Cody match, and the Golden Lovers match, were all very highly, highly touted matches.
Well, good stuff. I wish I was available to watch this. This is a pretty cool card. And I don't know, I guess I was hope that the time that it happened of the day, because it was in Long Beach. Do you know when it went live?
7.
Was it live Sunday?
7
Oh,
p.m.
so
No,
what you guys?
it was Saturday, wasn't it?
Saturday, 7
Yeah.
p.m. on Saturday.
So you guys saw it a day late or the day of?
Saw the day up.
Day of.
Oh, okay.
Watched it live.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well done, guys. It's crazy that we've already got King of Pro Wrestling coming up in, I guess, just 5 days.
Oh, wow.
But we're looking
that
at
Saturday?
We're taking a peek at the card here.
Yeah, it says October 8th.
October
So
8th,
same day
which would be
as-
Monday.
Okay, so not the same day as...
It's not the same day, and this one will be back in
Super
Tokyo.
Showdown.
So look at some of the stuff we got here. You got Young Bucks with Hangman Page and Chase Owens against Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Taichi Ishimori. Am I saying that correctly? Maybe.
Looks like it.
You also got Chaos versus Suzuki-gun, Chaos, other forms of Chaos against Los Ingobernables, Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr., Kushida versus Marty Scurll. That's because Scurll won.
And
Is that?
Yep,
Is
the
that right?
semifinal of the tournament.
You got Tanahashi and Jay White, and then for the main event, you have the Cody coming in as the champion against Coda and Cody. Kenny coming in as the champion against
Cody's
Coda.
coming. Cody
and
is coming in as
and
champion
Cody.
too.
It's
but-
That's
like coming
true.
in as a different champion, but not the one that's for
On the line.
that match was
Yeah.
for.
Yes, very good. All right, well, gosh, I'm excited about that. We got a whole another event. Okay, are you guys more? Even though we're about to get into Super Showdown, looking at that card and just what New Japan has been doing these last few years, is this more entertaining? Even though there's some wrestlers that that I'm not even super familiar with earlier in the card, at least.
For me, it is for the Bullet Club Elite versus the OG Bullet Club, which is like the modern day Wolfpack versus Hollywood, and then the Marty Scurll Kushida match and the Triple Threat. But I know the rest of the card's going to be great. If you got Evil and Sabre Jr. in a singles match, that's going to be incredible. And of course, Jushin Thunder Liger's on the card.
Yeah, I love that. I imagine he'll be the first one out.
He was on the card for Fighting Spirit Unleashed too.
Who was his tag team partner in that?
ACH
Yep,
and
that's right. It was the opening match.
the super funky guy. I can't remember his name.
Ryusuke Taguchi.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
I'm
All right.
horrible at all the names that aren't Americanized or haven't been said a million times, and I don't watch enough New Japan to get it in my brain.
All All right,
Yeah,
sweet
but
deal.
from what I've seen, when I'm looking at from the card of King of Pro Wrestling, it doesn't look like a single bad match on there. Like
No.
I like all of the people who are whatever they're going in for.
So when is this? Is this going to be at like basically
I won't watch
Monday
this one
night at
live.
midnight? Oh, yeah, no kidding. On a weekday, but I am looking forward to seeing some of these matches. I'm gonna have to talk to our buddy
If
Benoit.
it's on Monday, I'll definitely take it over Raw.
Oh, absolutely. I just because it'll be in Japan, it won't be until it could be 3 or 4 in the morning by the time it's underway.
Kind of like Super Showdown.
Still worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. More worth it than Super Showdown in my mind, but I'm still kind of looking forward to Super Showdown. There's enough matches on that card that's kind of tripping my trigger.
Yeah, but that one we can sleep on until it airs again on the network at
I
like
won't
10
watch that
a.m.
one live either, no.
What's your guys' plan for that? Just to not look at social media until you wake up Saturday and watch it all?
Yep. I'm going to watch it
That's
before
exactly
social
what
media.
I'm doing. 'Cause there's no way I'm waking up at 5 a.m. for a WA pay-per-view.
One time we did that a few years ago for Beast in the East. Me, Chandler, and I, and Ben Wong all got up at 3 or 4 in the morning and went over to Zach's house to watch Beast in the East.
But that was such a special show.
It was.
There was an
And-
NXT match on there.
Yeah, it was the NXT Championship. That was the main reason I was super excited to watch that show. It was Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens in a ladder match for the NXT Championship.
Was it a ladder match?
Yep.
I remember Owens came out and threw the flowers right back at the crowd, like really angrily. Oh, that was a lot of fun.
Kevin Owens is great.
I would definitely wake up at 5 a.m. to watch that.
Yeah, that was really good stuff. And I think Jericho they pulled in Jericho for that one as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he make an appearance there?
I thought so. I thought it was one of his random. Maybe we'll take a look at it, but
He has had so many random appearances.
yeah,
That's what he does.
that's what he does. You think he's gonna pop up for Super Showdown?
Super Showdown and
No, I don't see
No,
any
I don't
place
think
where
so.
he could.
no.
I
I mean, who knows? It's Jericho, like you guys
Right.
said. He could at this point in time, with especially as recently as he's been making these random surprise appearances. Who knows?
Can he contractually as the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, or was that like
Well,
he's not
isn't
able
he-
to appear?
Who
I don't know.
knows?
He's Chris Jericho, baby. He does what he wants.
That's true. He does do what he wants. What he wants, excuse me.
He could say he's not there as Chris Jericho, but yet the leader of the band Fozzy.
Whoa, what was his name?
when
shoot.
Fozzy first came out.
Yeah, he had a different name. I don't know if he still has it. Moose McQueen or something to that extent.
Yeah, but he could go out as an alter ego, as someone could possibly say, and then show up for no reason and do something.
Or maybe I'm completely wrong. I just remember something like that.
Yeah, it was Mongoose I'm seeing up here. I don't know.
I feel like you guys are just saying random names at this point.
It seems
He
a
did.
little stretch.
No, there was like an MTV
No, I believe you. I
special.
believe you, but it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I don't. It is ridiculous. But he did do it under a different name, and he used to claim that it wasn't him. Like it was I'm like Chris Jericho and the Fozzy singer are two different people.
That's
Well,
awesome.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it. Rich the Duke, I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. All right, Chandler, you want to give us this card here for Super Showdown?
Yeah, so we're gonna have the Cruiserweight Championship defended. Cedric Alexander will be
Mongoose
defending
McQueen.
against.
I found it. Mongoose McQueen. Sorry, Chandler. I just had to get that out there.
It's official. Mongoose McQueen confirmed for Super Showdown.
Anyways, continue, Chandler. Sorry about
Mongoose McQueen will be running in the Cruiserweight Championship match. Cedric Alexander defending against Buddy Murphy. We're gonna have Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics.
Hometown.
They might get the loudest pop of the night. SmackDown Tag Team
Buddy
Championship.
Murphy? He's from Melbourne.
Yeah.
that. Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they're both from.
The Australia.
They're both Aussies as well. The SmackDown Tag Team Championship, New Day will be defending against The Bar. John Cena and Bobby Lashley will be teaming up against Kevin Owens and Elias. SmackDown Women's Championship will be defended. Becky Lynch will defend against Charlotte Flair. We'll have a number one contendership match for the WWE Championship where Daniel Bryan will face The Miz, and this rivalry is just going to continue, which is fantastic. Ronda Rousey and the Bella Twins will take on the Riot Squad. There's a no DQ, no countout match for the WWE Championship. AJ Styles defending against Samoa Joe.
Uncle Joe.
He's so disrespectful. Joe, that is. Then we'll have The Shield versus Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. And in the main event, we're going to have Triple H versus The Undertaker, where Shawn Michaels is in Triple H's corner and Kane will be in The Undertaker's corner. And it's looking like things are heating up between these four. It's kind of looking as though Shawn Michaels will, in fact, be teaming at some point here, most likely at the next Saudi Arabia pay-per-view. I can't remember what it's called. Crown Jewel, there you go. Shawn Michaels will be teaming up with Triple H versus The Undertaker and Kane. DX versus Brothers of Destruction. It looks like things are kind of going that way.
Is there too much money not to right now for Shawn Michaels? Like, with all the Saudi money that I'm sure they're throwing around?
I can't hate on the man for taking who knows anything. It's all, as Conrad Thompson would say, it's all rumor and innuendo. But it sounds like that's a bigger payday than even WrestleMania for a guy of Shawn Michaels' caliber.
Where do you? And you heard this?
I read this online somewhere. Of course, I read so much stuff, and I should take notes and get actual sources. But I don't just read everything. There are certain people and sources that I trust, so it was something that I trust, but it wasn't. It was reported as a rumor, not as fact. So,
and you really trust that fella from Forbes, right?
Yeah, somewhat. I got into it a little bit with him the other day.
Again?
Because he was trying to he's throwing shade at Shawn Michaels. So
who is the writer that I'm talking about?
Ostreicher.
Blake Ostreicher. I was going to say David Bixenspan, but that's Deadspin.
No, he's all right. He's got some. I don't know. I have my own opinion. I don't get swayed by the journalists or reporters or what have you. I sometimes agree with them, sometimes I don't. But I forget where I was going. You brought up Blake Ostreicher, and then I got all off track. What was I?
The money involved. The money difference
Shawn
between
Michaels.
Yes.
Can't hate on the man for taking a payday, and if he wants to come back for it, heck, I don't care. It works kayfabe.
But you're saying you're hearing
kayfabe.
that the money is more for Crown Jewel than it is for WrestleMania.
Yeah, for guys like Shawn Michaels.
Your inside sources.
Not inside sources, my online sources.
I gotcha. Okay, well we'll get to this one in a little bit, but
all rumor and innuendo.
Let's go through some other things. I want to ask you guys this: what storyline gets furthered the most, or the other side to that, I guess, would be which storyline is over after Super Showdown? One that's been going on for a while, not just like a throw together match, but what storyline gets furthered the most here, or comes to an end?
I think that The Miz and Daniel Bryan gets furthered the most. I really don't know who's going to win this match. It could go either way. If we're talking recent history, then The Miz is going to win because so far in this incarnation of their rivalry, he has yet to lose to Daniel Bryan. But yeah, I feel like this could be the one that Daniel Bryan wins. It's the most important of their matches that they've had so far. So if he were to step up and win this, it wouldn't surprise me. Or if The Miz were to win, it wouldn't surprise me. But I think that as far as which storyline gets furthered the most after Super Showdown, or Super Showdown Under, it's going to be that one.
Aiden, what do you got? I mean, it's really in the title. It's pretty much a number one contendership match, so it literally will go forward from here. This is definitely not the stopping point for this amazing rivalry that we're having so far.
I don't think it's a stopping point, but I think it's a resting point, because what I think is going to happen is Miz is going to win and eventually win the title, but maybe not. Maybe it stays on AJ. But I think they kind of, if Miz wins and becomes champion, they kind of postpone it until Bryan gets his shot. But that would be a continuation. So I think the feud that's going to stop, and this one's been going on for maybe 3-4 weeks, so I guess it counts, but it's Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics. I think that one stops. I think the one that gets furthered the most, does the Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels thing count? Because if this leads to Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement, I think that's the most anything that is on that card can be furthered. But if that doesn't count, then I would say the Daniel Bryan and the Miz one's the one that gets furthered.
Which match that has top level talent or current main event
Okay.
superstars, I should say, are you least looking forward to seeing? So which match should be a big marquee match that you're kind of or maybe you like a bunch of them, but there's whatever's on your bottom of those.
Probably the Shield. I hate saying this. The Shield, Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. I absolutely love 5 out of the 6 of these competitors, and the 6th one being Roman Reigns. You know, I'm more than okay with in the ring and him as a performer at this point. So it sucks having to say that, but I guess maybe that's also a good thing because everything else. I mean, I guess maybe Bobby Lashley and John Cena but John Cena's not really a full-time guy anymore. But it would be between those 2 matches, the 6-man tag match and the regular tag team match. Those 2 matches I'm kind of looking forward to the least.
Aiden, what about you?
I'm going with the Ronda Rousey and Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad, and only because of the Bella Twins. Ronda Rousey's great. Each member of the Riot Squad's great, but the Bella Twins are still just too early to be put into this kind of position on like a big card such as this.
What I'm least looking forward to would probably be the 6-man 2 that involves the Shield and the whatever you want to call the 3
Dogs of War.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Simply because I'm just, as a Strowman mark, I'm just sick of him not being Universal Champion, and I just know that this is not a Universal Championship match, so I'm at least looking forward to it. But and then the other one was what we are looking forward to, or is it just the only? I'm half paying attention here. I'm
Great,
slacking.
Thanks so much for being with us. Did you get that from one of your sources?
I was going through the matches in my head trying to think of my
He's
answer.
still focused on
No,
the
it's
Forbes
fine.
guy.
Yeah, the Forbes guy is really
Welcome to the
Really
he's
Schmozcast.
really got your goat.
Welcome to the Schmozcast, where we debate Forbes writers instead of wrestling.
Well, because I was just what I was thinking about what the possibility of Deathless Shrimp appearing in the KO Elias versus Bobby Lashley John Cena match, and once Chandler started talking about that match, I started thinking in my head about the reaction on Raw and got sidetracked. So I apologize, public apology.
That's okay. We'll forgive you, I guess. All right, let's talk about Triple H and The Undertaker. This, you guys think that this is also sort of just a stepping stone to the eventual tag team match? Like, should we? Yes, we should care, but do we care as much as we should?
I mean, the way this match was, the title that they gave this match made me not care about it from the jump.
If
last
HBK wasn't
time
involved,
I still wouldn't. No, I still wouldn't care. Is that like the saving grace? Is that HBK might come back at some point? Is that like what's the best part of this match? I guess so. It's definitely not going to be. It's not. I mean, and I hate to say this, but it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be the match itself. And like I said, just the whole quote unquote last time ever. It's just like, come on, we know this isn't going to be the last time. It was, John Cena and The Rock once in a lifetime, twice in a row. Like, I don't know. They give these kind of situations, these matches in these situations names to try to build it up more. And it's just like, we know it's not going to be the last time because coming up, what's most likely going to happen is going to be Shawn Michaels and Triple H, DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. And they're going to be fighting against each other again. So I don't know. That kind of turns me off from the jump. Also, I hate saying it, but and I felt this way for years, but I'm gonna say it. I think the Undertaker needs to just hang it up. I love him, and I don't want to say that he's tarnishing his legacy. I don't feel like it's that bad, but at the same time, I feel like his time has come and gone. He can't perform the same way that he used to, and he's not the same Undertaker that he's not the Undertaker that I perceive the Undertaker to be. He's past that point, and there's nothing wrong with him still going and still wanting to go, but I don't know. I just feel like he should hang it up. I don't know. I've felt that way for a bit now, and it hurts me to my core to say that, but that's just how I feel about it.
He almost looked like he was about to drop Triple H when he was getting him up for that tombstone. His legs were super shaky, and his arms were shaking as he was holding Triple H upside down. He got the tombstone off, but I mean, you might be right. It's the Undertaker, so it's really hard to say that. And I'm only looking forward to this match because of what Shawn Michaels' possible involvement is. But I'm with you as far as the match itself. It'll be a decent match. It's Triple H and Taker, but it's not the last time, as you said. And also, as you said, Taker is getting up there. He can do what he wants. I have nothing but respect for him. It won't tarnish his legacy in my mind. But it's not, as you say, it's not The Undertaker anymore. It's not The Undertaker that we're used to seeing. He doesn't strike the same fear that he did before. He's kind of more of an older, beat-up Undertaker. But he's still Undertaker, but I'm kind of with you on that one, Chandler, man. I wouldn't.
It sucks having to admit that, but and it's been a little bit when you think about it too. It's been at least 2-3 years of him coming back and having matches and whatnot. I know that he doesn't do it very often anymore, but it sucks admitting that. But I feel like that's where he's at.
If he goes one-on-one with Shawn Michaels, it'll be my final telling point.
Aiden, what's your perception of this whole thing?
I like the fact that the old guys are still trying to kick it, but it's still obvious that they shouldn't, because these guys that they are past their prime. That they're really just trying to get that fire going when it's just not working for them. And my opinion, Undertaker's the greatest of all time, second to none. That's my opinion. But I feel as horrible as it is to say, at WrestleMania 33, when he put the hat down on the canvas, that should have been it. I hate because Roman Reigns was the one to do it, but when he left it in the ring, he should have just left it in the ring right then and there, and just ride off into the sunset as the gunslinger he was.
Also, just the fact that he came back after that, it kind of ruins that moment, because that was a perfect moment to kind of just, as Aiden said, right off into the sunset and just kind of end things. But I don't know, it's weird that the fact that he did come back after having that entire moment, after having that match where Roman Reigns finally got over on The Undertaker.
I don't mind him coming back and doing the Cena match, but I think the Cena match is when it should have ended. And the Cena match was perfect because he didn't have the gloves on, he didn't have the hat on, and it was a squash match. Excuse me. And if anyone's earned the right to go out winning as opposed to losing, it's Undertaker. So I kind of wish that his Cena match was his last match. But, if his last match is Shawn Michaels, I'll be okay with that.
What was his match? Did he have a match at the first Saudi Arabia?
Yeah,
yes,
it was against Rusev at a casket match, which he won pretty handily.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, that I don't even really remember that match.
So let's go back.
And I Aiden on his head.
I was gonna say the most recent one. I'm pretty sure it was a really,
really
awful tombstone. But let's go back and pick a time for the Undertaker to retire. Are you guys all saying after 33, after the loss to Roman? Because I would even go back even further. I would go either right when Brock beats him, right there. That's it. You're done. Or maybe one more year. He wins at Mania, which I believe was Bray Wyatt. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andre.
Yes,
okay,
I was there for that one.
Oh, that's right. There you go. And at 31 in San Fran or San Jose.
It was daylight, so seeing Undertaker in daylight was weird.
Very weird.
Stinking on
He's usually sleeping around that time. So I would go that's when I would have him stop, would be right there, would either at WrestleMania 30, the loss to Brock, or the one more afterwards. Now, if he does end up doing with Shawn Michaels, I guess that I hope is when he finally does, it's his career this time that Shawn Michaels ends. Would be a fun way to have one last match, but Taker really does. How many matches does he have left, do you think? Or how many is he going to do? Is he going to do... We have 3 to 5 over the next year and a half. Is there how many more? Is there 2 more Manias? Is it the Crown Jewel plus this weekend plus this year's Mania, or how far? How far is this going to go? And then also pick a time that you guys would have chosen the Undertaker to retire.
Well, to start off with the time to pick the Undertaker to have retired, I agree 100% with you. Either 30 or 31. I guess ideally it would be 31, just because. Andre made the point that if anyone deserves to have their career ended with a victory, it would be The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have been a pretty cool way to see things, to have him end his career that way with the victory at WrestleMania. And as far as the future going forward, I would definitely say at least for the rest of this year. Obviously, Super Showdown coming up this weekend, Crown Jewel, and this year's Mania.
So 3 matches in 6 months we're talking.
Possibly
basically.
even next year's Mania, just because, it's The Undertaker, and obviously he's still going, and both he and WWE are going to, ride that out for as long as they can, I feel like. So I would say at least until next year's WrestleMania, including this year.
I think after he lost to Brock, and I know you can't do it the same way because Elias isn't there, etc., but I loved the way that they built and booked the whole thing with him and Cena, and the way they revealed him and the way they had Cena in the crowd. I wish somehow that they could have done that the year after he lost to Brock and then end it there, so that way he doesn't have to lose to Roman Reigns. But if I can't do that, then I say he should have ended it after he beat Cena. I think that was the perfect way to go with the victory, out on top as a legend. This year, honestly, I think he debuted at Survivor Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why not? And I think he's going to go farther, but why not this match at Super Showdown, the tag match with his brother against DX, and get retired at Survivor Series by Shawn Michaels, because rumors are it's going to be Shawn Michaels Undertaker rumors again. But this is a Meltzer speculating, so it's not just anybody.
He's never wrong.
No, he's never wrong, but I mean it's a legit name that I could throw instead of just saying I saw it online. He says that it's a possibility of Shawn Michaels and Undertaker at Survivor Series. So if they do that, then that'd be the end of his career, end it where it started, Survivor Series. But honestly, I think he's going to do another WrestleMania. I hope not, though.
Yeah, I'll go with thinking that let's just give him the Survivor Series. That'll be his 28th anniversary of being The Undertaker.
28 years.
Let him go out and an anniversary seems like a fitting way for him to go out, and also tagging with his brother Kane, defeating DX. And so that, I mean, he should go on a win.
I'm kidding.
As we all said. So that would be ideal. I don't know how many. I don't know. It's hard to say how many he would do. I mean, I feel like he'll do the Crown Jewel since he did the last Saudi show and Money is Money. He might do the next WrestleMania. I mean, but yeah.
I just want to say, as a Michaels mark, if his last match is against Michaels, I want Michaels to win. Anyways, continue, pal.
Yeah, so as far as what his last match should have been from the past, I would have gone with either having Brock Lesnar beat him at WrestleMania 30, or what I would see more ideally is him finishing at WrestleMania 28, end of an era. He finishes 20-0, strong as ever, beating Triple H, Hell in a Cell match. All three, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Undertaker, they all holding each other up at the end of the stage, and they all three of them just walk off into the sunset together. That'd be perfectly ideal for how I would have booked it.
And now that I think about it, that's probably the best time to have ended the Undertaker's career, because as I said, it's been years when you look back on it and kind of feel like, man, he's really starting to he's starting to show his age in the ring, and he doesn't feel the same Undertaker. Mm-hmm. That was really the last match that I felt like was a real Undertaker match.
You're right, Aiden. I agree with that. It should have been that's classic moment.
It's almost It's almost the perfect setup too. End of an era, Hell in a Cell match, the match that he and Triple H pretty much made iconic together, and Shawn Michaels in the mix as well. 20-0. That's almost the perfect number to stop on.
Yep.
So yeah, that's just what I would think. That's what I think would be the perfect way to send off Undertaker, as well as Shawn Michaels and Triple H for the most part.
No, that would be great stuff. That would have been a great time for him to retire, but unfortunately that was not the case, and we have probably at least 3 more Taker matches even within the next 6 months, if not longer. So we'll see how that goes. AJ Styles, I want to get back into this against Samoa Joe. You guys think this rivalry will continue? And is this the one are we most excited about this match? outside of whatever else you guys have between Bryan and The Miz, which I know was also talked about?
Yeah, the top 3 matches I'm looking forward to on this are going to be the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the WWE Championship, and the number 1 contender match for the WWE Championship.
All SmackDown matches.
SmackDown.
Yep, all just surprise.
I'm also looking forward to Charlotte Flair and Stone Cold Becky Lynch too. That match is going to be straight fire. And the cruiserweight championship match is going to be low key great too.
Especially because, like I mentioned before, Buddy Murphy in his hometown in Melbourne.
That's right.
He'll get a hell of a great reaction.
Aiden, what about you? What's your top match?
Yeah, my top match is also AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and I want Joe to win this one because he was Styles tapped out last time, so he's this close, and I want to see this continue past this point, so then AJ Styles can invoke his rematch clause and we get another great AJ Styles and Samoa Joe match. So that's
right.
I
wish.
That's how I want. That's how I wanted to go.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I wish. If I thought that Joe was gonna win, I'd wake up and watch this. But I really don't think he's gonna win. I really don't. But it's gonna be a great match nonetheless.
Just hopeful thinking.
Oh, you can absolutely do that because I didn't think Cody was gonna win the United States Championship, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, who knows? It'll be a great match.
Is Triple H and Undertaker? Everything for this match has been on Monday Night Raw, right? There has been nothing for it on SmackDown whatsoever.
Yep, it's all been on Raw.
But I don't know. It's just kind of interesting that if they were going to use both shows for something, I could see them doing it for these two. I'm sure there's been at least some promos, even, or I mean, just commercials, basically.
Well, they're doing commercials for
basically
a lot of the
whole
Raw
thing.
matches. So yeah.
So
and yeah, on the other side too, on Raw, a couple of SmackDown matches have made they show in their promoed on Raw as well.
Does
so
this
it's
mean
back and forth?
Are Triple H and Taker members of the Raw roster now officially?
No,
John Cena too.
I just consider them for the sake of the feuds that they're in now.
No, that's fair.
Because they haven't been on SmackDown and Raw's ratings are sinking, so that's why Triple H and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Mayor Glenn Jacobs were on Raws because they're trying.
It's Kane that's on Raw. Glenn Jacobs, he's in Knoxville. He's running things there.
He's you're
right.
To a
Because
brighter
it's still
future.
like the corporate Kane versus. You're right. You're absolutely.
And corporate
right.
Kane is at the Stanford headquarters.
the three faces of Jacobs.
That's a good action figure pack right there.
And then you got is he pulling teeth at all, or that's past career?
We don't talk about that.
That'd be a kind of a cool 2-pack action figures where you get somebody with their bad gimmick and their good gimmick.
Well, Kane, you would have to include Fake Diesel as well.
That's a great one. But then Kevin Nash would be great because you could get Oz or Vinny Vegas,
or Super Shredder.
Super Shredder, yeah. See, there you go. And then you got Diesel and Kevin Nash
and
Kevin
whatever
Nash
his name
Wolfpack.
is in Magic Mike. I don't know his name, but I know that he's
Kane
a part
was
of that.
the Christmas monster or something like that too. Does anybody remember that?
I think that was a little before my time.
Yep. And See No Evil. Kane was
no. As a wrestler.
Oh no.
Chris, that's Kane right there. You can't see it on TV, but he was.
What are we looking at?
Christmas creature, and he was dressed.
Kind of looks like a Power Ranger, but an elf.
Yeah, but he's like head to toe. He's got a green mask on, and he's got tinsel and all kind of stuff around him, and he was the Christmas creature.
You think Kane, every once in a while, gives Vince a glare, kind of like the same when Undertaker does when he brings up Giant Gonzalez, WrestleMania 9.
Instant classic wrestling match.
Isaac Yankum. I always loved that pun on the name, even though I didn't like the character.
We like IRS too.
That was good too, but not as clever as I Yankum. Come on now.
Oh, good God. You want to see them revisit some of these bad gimmicks? Is there I wanted to do this week, but I didn't think we'd have time. But now it looks like we might. But do you guys have a favorite bad gimmick? I was gonna say Mordecai, but I just don't think it's a bad gimmick. But Andre and you guys will probably argue with me on that.
I'm trying to think
Favorite
of.
You want to crap on Mordecai,
gimmick.
Andre? I'm giving you the chance.
Favorite? Then I wouldn't say Mordecai because yes, he was bad, but he definitely wasn't my favorite. No way. He was one of my least favorite.
See, that's one of my.
Mordecai.
That's a great gimmick. I can't believe it didn't.
No,
work.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you crap. I actually like the gimmick. I just think it wasn't. It wasn't executed the right way,
and maybe not the right guy either.
Not the right guy either. But I do enjoy those kind of gimmicks. I think a Matt Hardy would have been better for something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
You
as
got a
far as my
bad-
favorite
yeah,
bad
what
gimmick,
what do you guys got?
I low-key loved the oddities.
Okay.
I was a big oddities fan, and I don't say it that much because everyone hated them.
You big Shaggy Two Dog guy?
Yeah, they were okay, but I didn't need ICP in it for me to be happy with it. I loved the Cartman doll. I loved
What a
the
weird
mask.
thing.
I loved.
Yes.
I don't know
was
why, but I
such a
enjoyed
bizarre
that
thing.
for some reason.
And it just fit with the time. I remember not necessarily hating them or being a fan during the time, but I was always entertained whenever they were on TV. Like you said, Andre, the Cartman. I always loved seeing the Cartman doll and them doing the waving their hands in the air
hands,
like
Luna
they just
Vachon
don't
was in
care.
the
Yep.
group.
It was just I was definitely a fan.
Sean, excuse me.
I didn't but like I said, they weren't very important. Going back and watching old school episodes of Raw's War, oh man, they're like some of the most entertaining stuff on the episodes. But another gimmick that I really enjoyed during the time and even going back and watching it now, the Boogeyman. I don't know why,
Yes.
but he's
Yes.
awesome to me. I mean, he had a great look. He was decent in the ring. He wasn't the best. He definitely wasn't the worst. And I don't know. Yeah, he was just. It was just him smashing himself in the head with the giant clock and the explosion and eating worms and shoving them down his opponent's mouth after the match.
Eating, what's her name? Kelly? Was it Kelly or was it someone else who?
Oh, no, Jillian Hall.
Jillian Hall's girl.
Yes. Oh my God. That was so.
Quick question: Is Jinder Mahal considered a bad gimmick, winning the championship? Because if you all consider that a bad gimmick, which I don't,
No,
that will be my.
I don't.
pick.
For what we're talking about,
Good.
It's not necessarily like bad as in terrible bad. I think we're talking just kind of
Gimmicks.
Weird.
I get you.
Goofy.
Sure.
just gimmicky,
sure.
like heavily gimmicked. Like
And it's unlikely that we would include anything that was a continual main event, whereas he was a contender and the champion, and I don't think he was weird enough to be considered a bad gimmick. at
Where
all.
does Doink stand? Is
He
that
would-
a
Doink
bad
is
gimmick?
like
Yep.
quintessential bad gimmick.
Then I'm saying Doink because the original creepy Matt Bourne
Yeah.
evil clown Doink before they had to change it because it was too scary for
Like
the
the
kids.
cigarettes on the tilt-a-whirl kind of creepy clown.
When they
Doink.
had the creepy music and he would come out and just not be happy-go-lucky. I enjoyed that Doink. That was really cool. I didn't watch it live. I watched it on the network, but I really was impressed with that. Plus, Matt Bourne. Was it Matt Bourne? Yeah, Matt Bourne.
was kind of the
Could
main.
go in the ring, man. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Doink.
Aiden, what do you have? Because I know your wrestling era is a bit different than ours, but is there something that you go back to that now you're like, God, that is pretty awful, but I love it, or I still love it, or what is your favorite bad gimmick?
It's funny.
guilty pleasure. How about let's
I
say
like
that.
that.
Let's say
That's
a
a good
guilty
way.
pleasure
That's a
gimmick.
great way to phrase
That's
it.
Yep.
It's funny how you bring up Jinder Mahal because I love 3MB.
Oh
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
oh that's
I'll
great.
give you
That's a
that.
great bad
Watch the
gimmick.
table
Matt.
for 3 if you haven't already.
Yeah, that's next on my list. I thought
Awesome.
it was coming out after whatever today is. But if it's out now, I'll definitely watch that when I get home. But Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, Heath Slater. You can't get 3 guys from different places and put them together and make a fake band out of it. It's great.
Airband at that, and don't forget that Hornswoggle did end up joining 3MB.
And Hornswoggle himself is a great gimmick because of all the things he's done over his career, which is amazing. Everything he's done was great.
Can I include WLC in this conversation? Because that match,
That's
and
a
they
little
talk about it on the
different.
table for 3, which you have to watch it. I don't want to spoil too much, but that match was an incredible match. For all things considered,
I like that. I don't know if I would go that if I would put it on this only because I think it's its
I'm
own
not putting it
special
on
thing.
the list. I'm just
But if
bringing
there
it
is,
up.
yeah,
It fits the.
Gimmick matches. We could
yes,
talk about
yeah.
that
If
one
there were
day.
like funny gimmick matches, there'd be Judy Bagwell and there'd be WLC.
Yeah, Judy Bagwell
Viagra on a pole too.
Those matches all.
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers match.
Was there?
Yep. Where they had
What the
a Vince Russo special in WCW. Each corner had a pole with a box, and you would break the box, and something was in there. One of them was like a coal miner's glove. One of them was like a hammer. I'm dead serious. This was in the death throes of WCW
Bro, we're gonna have
when
a 49er
Russo
match,
put
bro.
everything on a pole. I'm dead serious.
That is pretty awful. Do you guys have WCW answers for this? Because there was the Demon, who was the reincarnation of Kiss, I guess, as a wrestler, which I was so excited for when I was probably 6th or 7th grade. I thought it was going to be super cool, and then it happened, and it was pretty awful. But some of the Misfits, I think, with
Filthy Animals too.
Filthy Animals, I liked Filthy Animals. I thought that was pretty fun. Team Canada, I don't think was a bad gimmick. I thought that was actually really good. That was when WCW was awful. I think Team Canada was the best part about those last couple years. But
No Limit Soldiers versus the West Texas Rednecks.
there you go, 2x4, 4x4,
4x4 and Swole.
What the hell, 2x4 and 4x4? But I did love them. Like me and
I
my
did
buddies,
too,
like
man.
I was 2x4.
Everyone liked the West Texas Rednecks, but I was a No Limit Soldier guy.
dude, rap
They
is
were
crap.
supposed to be the faces, but they had like 8 members, and there was like 4 West Texas Rednecks, so they always got booed because it was always they had the numbers advantage, but they were the faces. Oh, WCW.
Kurt Hennig had so much money when he got to WCW that he didn't really care much about, putting in all the work. But I like for West Texas Rednecks, that's when I was like, yes, all right, he's really found his niche. Even though he's like a Minnesota dude, but yeah, what a song that was. They were supposed to be heels, but they ended up like people loved them in the South, especially WCW territories. They were like they loved it. So
Their song charted, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
you might be right about that. The West Texas
or
Rednecks.
not charted, but they got
Rap is crap.
they got play on radio stations. Sorry,
I think they
that's what
got
I
no
meant.
on country radio. You're
Really?
right about that. Yeah, unbelievable.
That is ridiculous.
Anything other than 3MB for you, Aiden? Before we get out of here,
I mentioned Hornswoggle. He was great with every gimmick he did, especially I think it was 2009 or 2010. We did the Little People's Core with DX. I thought it was hard. It was kind of hard to watch because they kept coming back to it, but I liked it because DX is funny in of himself when they do their bits. So having them with a gimmick character like Hornswoggle, I think it worked. I was younger, so I kind of didn't have the same view on wrestling as I did now, but at the time, it sports entertained in me.
no, it's sports entertainment. That's good. Andre, did you want to get in here for a sec?
I mean, I guess if you want to consider this a bad gimmick, but the 06 and 09 versions of DX, I thought those were incredibly smart and funny performances that nobody understood except a small amount of people, which is why it was so hated. But the thing I loved about it so much was that they were not trying to be cool like they were in 98. The whole performance they were giving was that they were 40-somethings with kids trying to be cool but failing at it, and nobody understood it, and they all hated it.
One of my favorite DX videos is, I just kicked Stan.
I just kicked Stan. Oh,
He goes down the hallway,
awesome.
kicks 3 more guys.
Stan, do you know who Stan was?
10,
No.
10, 10, 10.
Ty
Really?
Dillinger.
10.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Watch it.
Wow.
Watch
Unreal.
it. It's 100% Ty Dillinger. It's like it's undeniable. You'll
That's
watch
pretty
it
great.
and you'll be
Don't
like,
you
oh
love
my
that?
god, that's totally Ty Dillinger.
Sort of like Ciampa as the lawyer
Yes.
for Taker. I love
Yes.
stuff like that. Oh, it's
Or-
so good.
What's the other
How
one? What's
about
the other one?
Van
the
Damme had one of
disciple?
those?
As,
Disciple. There we go.
Oh, but Jesus
Bruce
Christ.
the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah, we better
It's
get the
disciple.
hell out of here on that one.
Just
My
want-
mind is
want
still
to-
blown by
Aiden,
that, by the
I
way.
That
think,
was
has,
pretty crazy.
Got one thing. It's just when you brought up Ty Dillinger, if I want to bring up SmackDown, hit the thing that he did with Randy Orton. He got his fingers like in the turnbuckle. Yeah, it was
Randy
another.
Orton is cringy.
There's another stomach turning moment, but I like it because
In a good way.
Because as we all know, heel Orton is best Orton.
And it's something good for Ty to do, you know?
Yeah, when he's mad, he's like, "Oh, I'm so mad I'm gonna break all my fingers," and Randy Orton's face. And nope, that's not happening.
Well, the show is done, but it's not over. You can help put us over by giving us a like or a follow on social media, Chandler.
Yep, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well to get caught up on demand.
There you go. All right, catch us next week or on our social media.
I like country music. I I love country girls. I like Willie Nelson, and don't forget about Merle. There's only one thing that I hate, 'cause it's a bunch of crap. I hate rap. I like NASCAR racing, Richard Petty's still the king. Yeah, they call me a redneck, but you know that's a beautiful thing. There's only one thing that I hate, 'cause it's a bunch of crap. I hate rap. There's only one thing that I hate, 'cause it's a bunch of crap. I hate rap. There's only one thing that I hate, 'cause it's a bunch of crap. I hate rap. Rap is crap. Rap is crap.